Namaste, welcome to GitasKitchen. Tomorrow we celebrate the auspicious occasion of Ashada Ekadashi. Have you ever wondered why millions of devotees walk hundreds of kilometers year after year to Panduranga to have a darshan of the Lord? What is it that fills their hearts with love to bring them closer to God? Today let me share with you the story of Sant Janabai, one of the most beloved devotees of God, Panduranga. The story reminds us that the Lord is always ready to help his devotee whose heart is filled with pure love. Many years ago, in the holy town of Panduranga, there lived a young girl named Janabai. She lost her parents at a very young age, and with nowhere else to go, she came to live in the house of Sant Namdev. Sant Namdev was himself a great devotee. Although everyone treated Janabai with a lot of kindness in the house, she worked there as a servant. Right before sunrise till late at night, her whole day was spent in doing various chores. She used to fetch water from the river. She had to grind the flour in the grinding stone. She had to cook the food. She used to wash the utensils. She used to wash the clothes. Like this, there was a lot of work for this young Janabai to do every day. There was hardly a moment to rest. Yet, the remarkable thing about Janabai was that she never complained. She went about all the work she had to do, just singing the names of the Lord. As she was sweeping the house or cooking the food, she would always say, Vittala Vittala Panduranga, and continue her work. Every sweep of the broom was an act of worship. Every pot of water that she filled was an offering to Panduranga. And every handful of flour that she ground on the mill was accompanied with devotional songs sung to her dear Lord Panduranga. People often wondered, how can she be so cheerful while doing so much work? And they would ask her. And her reply would always be with a smile on her face. Whenever I remember Panduranga, I never feel alone. One day during the rainy season, everyone in the house fell ill. So it fell upon young Janabai to do all the chores all by herself. And from morning till night she was so busy, and while grinding the grains in the mill, her arms ached. Her hands became sore because she had to do so much of work through the day, which stretched into the evening and night too. Tears streamed from her eyes because of her extreme tiredness too, and her aching arms and sore hands. She just looked towards the temple and said, Panduranga, I know you love your devotees very much, but today I feel extremely tired. I really wish you could help me. She smiled at her own words, thinking, how foolish I am. The Lord Panduranga has so many devotees. Why will he come down to help a poor girl like me to grind the grain? Still, she continued grinding the grain, chanting his name all the time. And as dawn approached, something extraordinary happened. A gentle breeze filled the room. The entire place was surrounded with the fragrance of tulsi and sandalwood. Wondering what happened, Janabai just looked up. And there she found none other than her Panduranga standing right in front of her. His dark complexion shone like rain-filled clouds. A gentle smile lit his face. His yellow garments glowed softly. His eyes were full of compassion. Janabai could hardly believe what she was seeing. Janabai couldn't believe her eyes. She immediately fell down at the Lord's feet. Panduranga, gently lifted her up. Janabai, did you not ask me to come here to help you? And before she could say anything, there was the Lord sitting right beside her with his hand on the grinding wheel. And now it moved so effortlessly because the Lord had started doing her work. Janabai stood frozen. The Lord of the universe was grinding the grains for her. And as he was doing, he was singing her favorite Vittala Vittala Panduranga. And tears were just flowing down her cheeks. She thought the great Lord of the universe, whom millions of devotees worship, all these sages and sons just wait to have a glimpse of Panduranga. He is here beside me, helping me in this work. And then she also sat down beside him, and together they ground the grain so effortlessly, singing beautiful songs all the time. The little room filled with heavenly music. It no longer looked like an ordinary kitchen. It had become a temple. By morning, all the chores were completed. The grain was ground, the floors were clean, swept and cleaned, all the pots of water had been filled, and Janabai did not have to put in any effort at all. And in the morning, when it was time to leave, he told her, "My dear Jana, when you think of me and you serve others, you are constantly singing my bhajan while cooking, while filling water, while you are washing utensils, while you are serving others. When you do that, my child, you are not serving me. It is actually I who is serving you." With those words, he disappeared, and only the fragrance of tulsi remained. Later that morning, Namdev noticed something unusual. He asked her, "Jana, how is it that you have finished all the work so soon and everything completed?" Janabai just looked at Namdev with tears flowing down her eyes, and she said, "I was not alone." And she narrated to him everything that had happened till now, how the Lord had actually appeared before her and helped her in all the jobs which had to be completed. Namdev was himself a great saint. He understood. And he smiled because he knew that Panduranga would always come down to help his sincere devotee. Soon this story spread throughout Pandharpur. People were amazed. But Janabai did not have any change in attitude. She did not become proud. She continued doing what she was doing earlier. She swept the floor, she cleaned the utensils, she fetched water from the river, she cooked the food. She continued doing everything with a smile on her face and chanting the name of the Lord all the time. The only difference was that now everyone knew that the Lord had come down to help his true devotee. My dear friends, the story of Janabai teaches us a very beautiful thing. Many of us think that prayer can be done only in a secluded prayer room or in a temple. But Janabai showed that every chore can become worship when it is done with love and remembrance of the Lord. So whether we are cooking for our family, packing lunch boxes, caring for our loved ones, remember that Panduranga is always right there beside us. If our hearts are filled with devotion, Panduranga is always right there beside us. He may not appear before our eyes, but he is always there beside us, taking care of us every step of the way. That is his promise. Think about this. The God did not call Janabai away from her work. He came into her work. Very often we think, I'll remember God after I finish cooking. I'll do my prayers after I finish cleaning. I'll sit for meditation when life becomes less busy. But the story of Janabai teaches us just the opposite. Remember God when you cook. Remember Him when you fold clothes. Remember Him when you serve your family. That is when every kitchen, every home becomes a temple. There are many Marathi abhangs sung by various devotees of the Lord, and one of my favorite ones of Janabai is Jhad lot kari jani ker bari chakrapani. The meaning of this abhang goes like this: Janabai sweeps the floor while the Lord collects the dust, carries the basket on his head, and goes and drops it outside in the dustbin. Such is the overwhelming love of the Lord that He will perform even the humblest of tasks just for a sincere devotee. And finally she says, I get goosebumps when I read these two lines. Jani mane ba vithala, kai utarai ho tula. It's not about the miracle. It is more about Janabai's heart. She isn't excited that that the Lord swept the floor. She asks, Oh Lord, how can I ever repay you? That is true bhakti. My dear friends, maybe Panduranga may not appear in front of us and physically come there to help us grind the grain or do other jobs. But when we find that a difficult day somehow becomes manageable, some problem which we found really overwhelming found a solution through some unexpected way. Every time our heart finds peace while chanting His name. That is Panduranga quietly standing beside us and helping us every step of the way. If this story touched your heart, then just for a moment, close your eyes and chant with me, Vittala Vittala Panduranga, Hari Om Vittala Panduranga. May the Lord fill your home with peace, devotion and happiness. Happy Ashada Ekadashi to all. Namaskaram.